Y'all, this is probably one of my most important tutorials, and it's on how to get your perfect foundation match and figure out your undertone. It's probably gonna be a little long because this is a process, so buckle up and let's get into it. I probably should mention is I am a celebrity makeup artist. This is an ad campaign for Rare Beauty I did. So this method is going to be different than what anyone else probably teaches online because it is my own personal method that I developed to help other people match their foundation. And I think it works way better than what other people teach online. Step one is figuring out where the heck you even match to. I've heard inside of the wrist. I've seen a lot of along the jaw lines. I've heard middle of the chest. But none of these are what I recommend. The reason that I'm wearing this top right now is because this is where you should be matching to. So you actually want to zoom out and look at the overall tone, the average tone that falls in between your face, your neck, and your chest. Don't feel confused. Hang in there. The reason that I use an overall zoomed out approach to matching foundation is because color can be different in individual areas, and it looks most seamless when your foundation transitions naturally into the rest of your body. Next, you want to find the foundation that you want to match yourself to based on the formula that you like, the coverage, the finish, all of that. Find the line, and we're going to look at the entire line of foundation while looking at ourselves in a mirror. That's super important. While we've got our lovely handheld mirror with us, yes, I've got a fancy Iris Apfel one, we want to look at the lineup of all the foundation shades and assess where we fall on the spectrum from lightest to darkest. Do not worry about the tone of the foundation yet. We want to hone in on about 3 shades that seem they are the same depth as our skin tone. So if I was looking at myself in the mirror at this line, I'd probably choose these first 3 because they seem like they are the closest in depth. I'm gonna grab those 3 foundations. This is how I see most people swatch their foundations to see if they've got a match. And again, I don't think this is the best method because this is not how you apply your foundation. You don't put thick globs on your skin. This is going to look unnatural and be hard to read. What we want to actually do is take each of the 3 shades and cover a larger part of our face in a thin layer, similar to what we would apply if we were actually putting the foundation on. You can use a finger, you could use a sponge. If there's one at the store, that's totally fine. But we're going to start applying these, and then we're going to analyze for the tone to see if the tone is correct. All right, so I very haphazardly put on 3 shades, one of which I got in my eyebrow. It's a little hard to tell from this camera and lighting because I've got a ring light on, but in person, in natural light, which is what's very important, go next to a window, use your hand mirror. You need to analyze and see what looks like it blends into your upper body and what stands out. This one to me is a little too dark and it is too yellow. This one is a touch too pale, and here we have it. The shade that blends right into the rest of my skin. This experiment is what is going to help us determine our undertone, because when you are noticing the patterns of how shades show up on your skin, and you may need to try a few lines for this, you will notice anything that is too yellow really stands out against my skin tone. It looks orangey. So as I'm trying different foundations and I keep trying these warmer tones, I'm seeing that that is just not it for me. When I move into cooler tones, so tones that have a little more pink to them, like this one, this actually blends into my skin tone. And I've noticed that time and time again with every foundation I've ever matched on myself. I am always in the cool range. So you can see I'm kind of reverse engineering the undertone of the skin. I know this is not absolutely 100% foolproof because different foundation lines can pull entirely orangey or have a really limited selection of shades. We can't account for that. If there are not enough shades in a range, or you're finding that you're testing out the shades and none of them look like a match, you're gonna need to move on to a different foundation. And it's often a great idea to start with a foundation line that's got a lot of shades, like Fenty Beauty, Rare Beauty. If we want to go to the drugstore, we've got L'Oreal and some of those other like True Match style foundations. There's a lot there that you can choose from and get a better gauge. But keep in mind, as you're looking at all the tones and the colors, you always want to use your mirror as a reminder to keep looking back and forth. Hold the bottles up to your face so you can see what looks most like it's going to blend in with your skin tone. You always want to use yourself as a reference point, because when you're just staring at all those little bottles, it gets mighty overwhelming. What I just said without saying it in that last part there was that if you're going somewhere where you can't try on the foundations there, you're going to need to do this just by looking in a mirror and judging based off the packaging, which can also be deceiving. Again, none of this is an airtight scientific process. We are going to have to experiment a little bit. That's why it is often recommended that once you find a foundation you like, you kind of stick with it. We don't want to keep doing this over and over again because it's super annoying. Another tip I have for if you are shopping online or shopping at a drugstore or something like that is to go ahead and buy 3 shades that you think are close. Try them on at home and then return the ones that do not match. You are so much more likely to get a perfect match than if you just cherry pick one shade, because you're going to pick that shade, get it home, it doesn't match, you're going to have to bring it back anyway. Why not buy 3, return the ones that don't work? Make sure, of course, that you're shopping somewhere that has a good return policy. But these days, Sephora, Ulta, all the big beauty retailers, Target and stuff like that, they will take back used makeup. So sorry to be wasteful. I know somebody will complain in the comments, but this is the best way to one and done get a good foundation match. I really hope that this tutorial helped. Obviously, my way of doing things is different. If you like your way better, go for it. Please let me know if you have any questions down below. Follow me for more pro makeup advice. And don't spend your whole time complaining in the comments. I know this is not an easy process, but I hope that this video made things a little bit easier for you.